So, a floral container made out of steel pipes, sticks, and orchids. Where is that gonna go? Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Blossoms and Bourbon. It's a pleasure to have you here in my workroom. My name is Mark, and I'm the owner here at Creative Occasions. My marketing and sales manager, Sherrene, was at a function for the Virginia Federation of Garden Clubs in Richmond recently. And they did this auction, and so she texted me pictures and said, is there any of this stuff you might be interested in? This was in the pictures. And I said, I gotta have it. And it was one of those things that I said, I gotta have it, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it, but it's so cool. Don't you agree? I mean, this is really a very interesting, very modern, structural kind of thing that just screams, this is gonna be an awesome arrangement. It's very much a case of what I've said to you before, where let the container speak to you. This is not something that's gonna hold an English garden arrangement. You know, it just wouldn't work. This is something that's gonna hold a very structural, modern design. And so we're gonna see how this ends up because I kind of have an idea in my head, but I haven't tried it yet. First thing I'm gonna do, because this is just actually an open pipe, is I'm gonna put a little bit of chicken wire in the pipe. And I kind of just create like a little pillow with the chicken wire and kind of bend it on itself like that, so that you have, when you put something down in it, two different levels of where you can hold things in place. The top level and then the bottom level. So we're gonna just try to kind of scooch that in there. I think this is gonna be a case of where you could put too much in here and then it wouldn't work because the stems won't actually go through it. It also may be the case of where the sticks that I'm using push the chicken wire in. So again, we're just gonna experiment with this and try it and see what happens, okay? I'm gonna use a slightly smaller one, same kind of pillow technique that we're gonna do. Bend it just on itself a little bit like that. This is gonna go in the top one. Now, I've got this beautiful, this is a fasciated willow. It's related to pussy willow in that family, but it's a slightly different variety, so it gets these wider, flat pieces in the branch, and then it gets these little tendrils that come off of it. It's so much fun and so interesting. This is actually foraged from a friend's yard. She had it and brought it in, and I want her to bring more, but I honestly would love to be able to like root some of this so that I could have it at my house. What I'm doing is I'm trying to kind of follow the sensibility of the container, but yet I want these really kind of interesting things that move off of it. Okay, let me show you what that's done. See how that's kind of moved from in and out and created another curve? I'm not really crazy about how this pulls your eye out of the arrangement. I like this curve. So I'm gonna take care of that by doing that, okay? So we're gonna make it just, yeah, that kind of contains it a little bit more. I think this is one of those things that would be a really cool sort of competition piece, you know, if you were doing a show or if you're trying for the certification from the American Institute of Floral Design or something. I think this would be a really fun thing to do. Again, I told you I hadn't worked this out ahead of time. So this is gonna be a little bit of, we're gonna take some Oasis bind wire and I'm just gonna get that to stay right there where I want by twisting that wire in place. I want the majority of that cut off because I don't really want to see the wire. That's one of the beauties of this bind wire is it's a paper covered wire. It is going to be in the list of products that's being used in this video, so you can buy a roll for yourself. It's so amazing. It's like twist ties. It's paper covered. It just does lots of different things. It works in beautifully. You can see that because of the color of it, it really just sort of disappears in this application. So cool. I do want another little bit of line going down this way. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. I forgot there was even a hole in the back. All right, I like where this is going. Okay, so here's kind of the basic structure from the front. We've got that kind of nice big movement up at the top, a little bit of complementary movement at the bottom. Also, because, you know, when you're being creative, you have to be sipping on bourbon a little bit, right? That's kind of the rule here. Tonight I'm sipping on Weller's. It's an old favorite. If you just need something that's nice and easy and warm, Weller's is the thing. So cheers to you guys. So the flower of choice for this arrangement are these James Story orchids. They look like little spider monkey faces or something. I just love these so much. If this were a long-term installation, an arrangement that we would want longevity with, I would leave these little water tubes on them. But this is not going to be that sort of application. I mean, with a really simple, elegant, structural design like this, you need a flower that's also really simple and structural and elegant. And so for me, that was going to be this particular bloom. The supplier that we get these from, I think they come from New Zealand. So these have been well traveled prior to their getting here. I kind of picked up one and decided not to use it and picked up another one instead because I wanted the bloom not to go all the way down on the base of the container or on the table itself. I wanted it to sit up just a little bit. When your eye travels through this design, I want it to be about the branches until you get to the blooms, and then your eye follows that. So you'll get to the bloom down here, but your eye will follow it all the way to the table with the branch. So I wanted to make a little bit of a distinction between the flower and the branch. So as a way to help that one, did you see what I did? I just kind of moved it around the branch so it's kind of caught in that stick up there, and it just helps it stay in place. You know, honestly, this is, I think in any design field, you have to know when to stop, right? You have to know, it's about editing and making sure that you're doing the right thing for the piece, and sometimes that means that you have to stop before you think you should stop. Yeah, I really, really, really like that. I think it's just really interesting. It might be kind of fun, particularly if I were following the rules of design specifically, to put something right here, which would make the focal point of the arrangement. Let's see if I can find something to do that with. This just happened to be in the cooler. It's red, it's open, it's stunning. Let's see how that works. What do you think? Does that kind of ground it? Does it make it seem like there's a focus, a place for your eye to rest? Because that's the point of having a focal element in the arrangement. So your eye kind of rests there first, and then it begins to move up and down, back and forth through the lines of the arrangement. I don't know. I can't wait to hear the comments on this just to see what people think. I have a good friend who's a designer, and he said, when you send out flowers on my behalf, I want people to either love them or hate them. I want there to be a reaction. So this might be that arrangement for you guys. Let me know what you think. I'm anxious to hear about it. Steel pipe, flowers, and sticks. A new chapter in Blossoms and Bourbon. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please be sure to remember, as I always forget to ask you, to like and subscribe to the videos. Be sure and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when we're doing new content. Until next time, cheers to you and to flowers every day. Thanks for joining.